Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna talk about how you choose the best media for your art without spending a ton of money and wasting your time. Thanks to a patron of mine who asked this question, it even crossed my mind. So I just didn't know that young artists don't really know what they should use as a medium for their art, and this is an actual question they have alongside the question how they choose their style. So today I'm going to talk about how you choose the right medium for your art. And a disclaimer, there is no right medium, of course, and I will explain how that is. Before we start, this painting is available as a 1-hour real-time painting tutorial on my Patreon page. I explain and show in depth how I painted and drew this portrait with watercolors and color pencils. You are also able to see my full mixing progress with a second camera view, and you can download my original reference picture. By selecting the $5 reward tier on my Patreon page, you get instant access to this and all my previous painting tutorials I've ever done. Every video is downloadable and you can keep it forever. A limited edition of 20 fine art prints of Paint Your World is available at my online store, both in the embellished and the basic version. First of all, I will just share with you my experience and how I chose my medium. And when I started painting and drawing, I learned it in the beginning from my boyfriend, and I have a link down in the description to his channel. He's amazing, just check him out. And he was just like, okay, here we have acrylics and oils, choose what you like best. And then I tried both and I was like, oh, I think I like oils a bit more. And then he also said, well, oil is the supreme discipline and it's the best. And I was like, okay, yeah, I will just choose oil then. So this was pretty simple for me, but back then I did not really look up artists in the internet. I was just totally, completely disconnected with any art scene out there. And this is why I just didn't ever think of trying out new materials. It didn't cross my mind. I just had one canvas, my old paints and brushes. I wouldn't even try out new colors. This is how I was. I would just do what someone said to me and that was it. I was just totally not into experimenting or what can I do different. It just wasn't me at that time, and like this mindset only developed over time after I discovered all the amazing stuff on the internet. And yeah, like the first situation where I tried something different was that I discovered an artist on the internet. I don't know her name anymore, but she did like beautiful watercolor anime drawings and manga characters with watercolors. And I just thought, oh, I really want to do it like her and I will just teach watercolors myself. So this is what I did. I just treated it as a hobby while I was doing oil painting. So I was just trying to get this watercolor effects like her and wanted to be able to paint in watercolors. And this is basically important for the topic of the discussion, because there is no right medium, and the best thing for you is to try out mediums and see what fits best to you. A good example for this is a very successful and famous artist. His name is Eric Jones, and I will have a link in the description so that you can check out his work. And he does incredible paintings, and he just uses everything that fits and everything that he needs for his artwork so that they look like he wants them. He just used acrylics, he used color pencils, tape, everything. And this is the kind of mindset I want you to have too. So basically, don't be wedged or hindered by the thought that you have to find the right medium. There is no right medium. Also, if you have found a style, it isn't that you have to have this style forever. Like this medium, you don't have to stay with this medium forever. What I would like to encourage you is to try out as much medium as possible. I know that this might be expensive, and especially sometimes it is annoying if you bought something and you find out that it's totally not for you. But let me tell you something. So I've been an artist since the last 11 years and probably even longer, because I just didn't stop drawing. And all these years I've collected a ton of art materials together with my boyfriend. So when we met, he brought a ton of art materials. Since then we just bought stuff that we thought would be good for everything, even if we just wanted to make greeting cards or stuff like that. I just collected over the years. I just started after a break of maybe 3 or 4 years to paint with watercolors again, and I used the stuff I collected before. If you have a little money to spend and you have the choice between spending it on fashion or on home decoration or on art supplies, just see what makes you happier in the long term. If this is fashion, then go for that. But if art is serious for you, either if it is an hobby or if it is your career, then by all means just invest your money in art materials. Of course, only if you can afford it. Don't just buy art materials if you rather need it for food, of course. Only if you really have a little money to spend and you just maybe think, oh, they're so expensive. It's a bit of an investment for your future and just for the fun that you might have with them. If you like to try out gouache or if you like to try out acrylics, but you only have oil paints and color pencils, you will probably just have to save some money for art supplies. Maybe you can make a little fund for every month for art supplies. You just have to prioritize what is important for you. If art is a hobby for you, but you really, really love it and it makes you happy, then just buy stuff, buy art materials, try stuff out. It is so important that you feel good, that you're feeling positive and happy. And I just know the feeling if I really need, for example, a specific color pencil, and I'm too greedy and I don't want to buy it, but when I bought it and I know this was the exact color I needed, this is just a wonderful feeling. And I would advise that you just make a little art fund every month and you just buy the things that you love, that you want to try out, and you collect them. So even if you don't, for example, you buy markers, but then you realize, oh god, they're like totally not for me, I hate them, just save them, don't give them away. I know that it is not super nice, but you don't know if you might need them in a further stage of your art career because you wanted to try markers again. And the more different things you try out and the more materials that you try out, the more you grow as an artist and the more special and wonderful and sophisticated and amazing your own technique will become. For example, maybe you have markers, maybe you have color pencils, maybe you have oils, and maybe you paint on a totally unusual surface and nobody else does that, and because you do it in your specific way, your art looks totally different than all the other art you see out there, and this makes you special and nobody can just copy your style and your specific thing. If you only do oil paintings and you only paint on canvas, you're so stuck in just one area of art where there are so many different ways how to make amazing art. I first discovered all the artists on Instagram. My mind was blown away, seriously. I was like, what? You can paint in watercolors and this is art, and you can use this and you can use markers and you can paint colorful, and it is so rich the way you can do art, and just use as much material as you can. And you don't even need to stay totally two-dimensional. A very good example is Tina Yu. She is a sculptor and she also paints with acrylics, and she just uses so many materials, and she always experiments and she always merges her three-dimensional sculptures into her paintings. I think her recent painting, she included pastel glue on an acrylic painting so that you have three-dimensional blobs on the surface. This is so important for your development, that you don't think you have to stay with one medium and you have to choose one and then you have to stay with it. Because since I changed my mindset and my way how I view art, my life became so much richer. I'm so much happier than before. I'm really like another person, and I just want to share this with you, how fulfilling it is that you can do in your art everything you want. You can do everything. Don't think that other people have the right to say you that you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, or you are not supposed to mix this with just that. So just don't listen to these people. Of course, if you go that way, there are risks. If you do things that might decay after a time, then well, that is the risk. Just make sure that if you combine materials, that you do the research and see if someone else maybe that have done it before. But amazing art can't emerge if you don't try new things out. And yeah, the other thing about the money is, well, their art material is always expensive. What you can do if you want to try out things, I recently saw that on AliExpress, this is an online marketplace, they have some really cheap art supplies, and I would probably say all of it is more of a minor quality, but some of their stuff might be good. I think it's like super cheap, and for example, if you just want to use pencils or maybe acrylics even, you just give it a look and maybe you can save money just to try out new materials. What I'm doing, so on my list of things that I want to try out is that I want to paint more in gouache and try out acrylics too. And yeah, I just wait for a month where I just have maybe made more money that I can spend and that I want to spend, and I just wait for it. For example, I recently bought silicone and resin because I want to make my own frames, and I wanted to make it for a year. So I just waited until I just felt comfortable to spend a bit more of money. And just keep your ideas, write them down, and if you are uninspired and don't know what you do, just check your ideas and maybe you see, hey, I wanted to try those acrylic colors. Then this might be the right situation for you to try them out. And I can guarantee you that trying out new materials is so much fun. It makes you so happy. Yeah, don't ever think that there is one material that you use, there's a right material and there's a right style. And even if you find like the one material that you really love, this can change after the time. So maybe you explored the borders of color pencils and you see, okay, I'm very good now at color pencils, but I want to just go further. Then you might include other materials. And so you develop your own system and your art develops and it changes. And normally I would have said, and this is totally okay, but instead I say, because I believe it even more, is that it should be like that. Your art should develop, you should get more experienced with a lot of art materials and with a lot of styles, and it just makes your life more richer, in my opinion. And the painting I did in the background, for example, I did with watercolors, color pencils, acrylic inks, and I also used glitter. And normally I would also have used micron pens to make outlines, but my micron pens are empty, so I need to buy new ones. And yeah, it's just wonderful to have a giant box of art supplies. And yes, it costs money, but just see your art career as a whole. If it is a serious hobby or if it is your career, it goes over your entire life and you have enough time to buy all the stuff you need. If you have maybe a regular job even, you just put some of the money you earn in your art supply fund and then you buy everything you want after time, just one thing at a time. I hope this helped you. I hope I have you inspired a bit, because just talking about it made me so excited that I want to try out all the new things too. And I hope it helps you. I hope if you had the mindset that I have, just don't really try new things out and just don't know if you are supposed to do so, just skip everything. You are supposed to do everything you want with your art. So yeah, I hope you liked it. And if you know a topic you like me to talk about, please leave them in the comments. I'm super curious to see what you're interested in. I hope I see you on the next one. And if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I see you soon. Bye bye.